Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Veleleni Nkosi. In this video, I do presentations about the digestive processes. So today we are looking at the digestive processes. We are in the class of grade 11. So last we did a video about the digestive system, the parts of the digestive system and their functions. So if you haven't watch the video, please watch it before you watch this one, since it's gonna make things clear. So like always, all our videos we start with showing the examination guideline. So this is the examination guideline. It's for life sciences grade 11 under CAPS examination guideline document implementations 2024. So this document is active from 2024 then going forward. So it's the one that will be used. And then now we are on animal nutrition. Animal nutrition falls under paper 1, which accumulates 32 marks. So today in this video we will be focusing on this content here. So let me read what we will be looking at. We will be looking at the processes of digestion. So I will define what is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and the digestion. So I will define all these processes, and then I will also explain mechanical digestion. In mechanical digestion, I will explain the role of different type of teeth and the tongue, chewing processes or the mastication, bolus formation, and the peristalsis. So I will explain this. And then in chemical digestion, I will explain the role of the following group of enzymes and their site production, substrate, pH, and the end product. And then the enzymes are carbohydrates, proteases, and the lipases. So these are the content of this video. So I hope this video is not going to be long. So everyone who is doing grade 11, please make sure you have this guideline. So this guideline is very important. This is the most important document that every student must have, because it's giving student direction when they are studying. So without wasting more time, let's get to it. I will start with the steps of digestive processes. So when we eat food, so the food undergoes some steps. So at the end of the steps, we end up going to the loo and then releasing all undigested product. So the first step is a ingestion. So the definition of the ingestion is intake of food. So immediately when you take food, so this process is called ingestion. And then the next step is digestion. So digestion is divided into two parts. We have chemical digestion and the mechanical digestion. So I will explain them in a minute now. So the definition of a digestion is digestion is the breaking down of food into the simplest form. So you must remember that our body has to absorb some nutrients. So but these nutrients, when we eat them in a larger compound. So the compound must be breaking down so that our body will be able to absorb them. So now the next process is a absorption, like I just say. So after digestion, the food will undergo absorption. So the definition of the absorption is the product of the digestion diffuses into the bloodstream. So after the digestion, and then the product of the digestion, when it diffuses into the bloodstream, that process is called absorption, because now our body absorbs those nutrients. And after the absorption, the next step is an assimilation. So assimilation is the process whereby nutrients absorbed from the digestive system are taken up by the cell. So now it's when assimilation is when the cells receive the nutrients that are absorbed in the digestive system. And then the last step is an digestion or digestion. So digestion, definition of digestion is the process whereby undigested food remains are expelled from the body. So when we go to the loo, so a biological term is digestion. So if you can see, we start with the food being taken in, and then we end up with having go to the loo. So you must be able to define all these steps here. So the way I explain them is the correct way of explaining them. And then the next thing is a mechanical digestion. Like I just said, digestion, we have chemical digestion, then mechanical digestion. In the mechanical digestion is the physical breakdown of large food particles into smaller particles without involving enzymes. So here we do it physically. So we don't put any chemical or something. Like example, if we chew food with our teeth, so this is mechanical digestion. So when do mechanical digestion occur? So you must know when do mechanical digestion occurs. So mechanical digestion occurs during mastication. So mastication is the process of chewing food using teeth. So when we chew food using our teeth, this process is called mastication. So mastication is one of the mechanical digestion. And then another place where it occurs during peristalsis. Peristalsis is the involuntary relaxation and constriction of circular muscles along the alimentary canal. So peristalsis, in short, is the process of pushing food inside the alimentary canal. So the food, for this food to move inside the alimentary canal, they must be pushed. So this process of pushing the food is called peristalsis, because peristalsis use muscles. So muscles relax and constrict to push food. So I will show you how peristalsis work in a minute. So then the next thing is the teeth and their role. So we must know the teeth and their role. So here I have a simple demonstration. This is the lower jaw of the teeth, and then we have different teeth, and then in colors again. So first teeth is the incisors. So incisors are the front teeth. So if you can see here, these are the front teeth. They have sharp edge. So the function of these teeth is for cutting and slicing food. So this edge is used to cut food. And then the next teeth are canines. So canines, we've got only 4 canines. Each one of us have 4 canines. So canines, functions of the canines is for gripping and tearing tough food. So if we have food that are tough, we use canines cut the food, because they're one of the strongest teeth that we have. And then another teeth are premolars. So premolars are these ones here. So functions of the premolars is for grinding and shearing. So these ones are grinding food. So when we chew, some of the food grind by premolars. And then the last part is a molars. So molars are the far teeth that we normally don't see them. So molars is function of the molars is for grinding food into smaller pieces. So if you can see molars, they are almost flat. So if we chew, then they will grind the food into smaller pieces. So while we chew the food, so saliva is put in the food. So the function, the role of the saliva. So it's very important to know the role of the saliva in mechanical digestion. So the role of the saliva is to lubricate food as we chew. So as we chew, the salivary gland secrete the saliva, and then this saliva lubricate the food so that the food can be a little bit softer. And then The chewed food at the moment of swallowing are called bolus. So when we swallow the food, so we are no longer calling it food in a biological term, we call it a bolus. So be aware of this term in a biological term. They might ask you, so what is the food when we swallow it? So you must know that when we swallow, we are no longer calling them food, we call them bolus because they resemble a ball. And then I will show you in a later stage. And then next thing is the role of a peristalsis movement. So like I just promised, I will show you how peristalsis movement works. So these arrows that are pointing inwards are the muscles when they constrict. And then the arrows that are pointing outwards are the muscles when they are relaxing. So this is how peristalsis work here. The red part is a bolus, and then this yellow part, it's the alimentary canal. So if you see the ball when it's moved, at here they constrict, and then here they relax. We end up with this ball moving downwards. So this is how peristalsis works. So the role of the peristalsis is to propel food through the digestive system. So peristalsis is pushing food through the digestive system. So this means even if we are upside down, if we swallow food, they will still reach the stomach. So they won't come back. So gravity has got nothing to do with pushing food forward. The food are pushed by the muscles. So the functions of the peristalsis is to push food. And then another function of the peristalsis is to mix food with the digestive juices. So as the food moves along the digestive system, there are some juices that are poured or are found in the digestive system. So as the peristalsis is pushing the food, and then this food mixed with the digestive juices. So this is another functions of the peristalsis. So make sure you know these functions. So I show you how the peristalsis works. And then the next thing, it's a chemical digestion. So now we are no longer on physical or mechanical digestion. Now we are on chemical digestion. So now we use chemicals. So the definition of a chemical digestion is the breaking down of large food compounds into smaller food compounds using digestive enzymes. Now we are using enzymes. So we must know the difference. In physical digestion, no enzymes is used. We just chew, then we grind the food using the teeth. But with this one, there must be some enzymes that are poured in the food, and then this enzyme chemically they break down the large food compound into smaller compound. So we must know this type of enzymes. So these enzymes, we call them group enzymes. So the enzyme number one, it's a carbohydrates enzyme. And then proteases enzyme. And then lipases enzyme. So these are the enzymes that I will be discussing in a moment. Then let's start with the carbohydrates. So this is the number one, it's a carbohydrates. I will explain where it is produced. You must know where it is produced. You must know the substrate. So the substrate is the larger compound that is being breaking down. So we call it a substrate. And then first let's start with where it is produced. Where is this enzyme produced? So it produced in the saliva, or it is found in a saliva, in a pancreatic juice, and then in an intestinal juice. So you must know this carbohydrate. It's found in a saliva, so it's secreted by salivary gland, and the pancreatic juice is secreted by the pancreas, and the intestinal juice, which is secreted by the intestines. And then we must know what the substrate. So the substrate is a carbohydrates. So this enzyme, it breaks down carbohydrates or starch. So if you can see here, the name of the enzyme is a carbohydrates. What does it break? It breaks carbohydrates. So what they did, they just take carbohydrate and then we add the suffix "-ess", and then we end up with carbohydrates instead of carbohydrates. So you must know the difference. This is a compound, this is an enzyme, and then the enzyme, it's a compound, and then we add "-ess" at the back. So every enzyme ends with "-ess". And then preferred pH. So there is a pH that the enzyme has to function in. So the pH is a slightly alkaline. So this enzyme works on a slightly alkaline condition. And then the end product. So the end product, so it's when this carbohydrate or starch has been breaking down, what we will be ended up with. So we will end up with a glucose. So our body are able to absorb glucose but are not able to absorb carbohydrates. Since carbohydrate is a larger food compound, but this carbohydrate is breaking down by the carbohydrates or by the chemical digestion, and then we end up with glucose. So the glucose, it's a very small compound, so our body is able to absorb glucose. And then the next enzyme is a proteases. So we must know where this enzyme it is produced. We must know the substrate. The substrate is the compound that must be breaking down, and then we must know the preferred pH and the end product of the digestion. So first we start with where it is produced. It is produced in the stomach, and then also produced, it's found in a pancreatic juice, and then it is found in an intestinal juice. So these are the places where we find this enzyme called proteases. And then the substrate. So the substrate, it's a protein. Like I said, the enzyme, we just add "-ase" at the end of the substrate. So now the enzyme is proteases, the substrate is protein. Then the preferred pH. So the preferred pH of the reaction is acidic in the stomach. Like this enzyme, it is produced in the stomach. So we know that in the stomach is acidic, and then alkalinic in the small intestine, because it's also found in the intestinal juice. So in the intestine, it's a alkalinic. So in any condition, this enzyme functions. And then the end product is an amino acid. So the protein, when the protein is breaking down, we end up with amino acids. So this is the end product of the reaction. And then the catalyst is proteases, and then we end up with amino acids. And then the last enzyme, it's a lipases. So lipases, so where does it been produced? It is produced in the stomach, in a pancreatic juice, and then in the intestinal juice. And then the substrate is lipids. So if you see, this is lipids, and then the enzyme is lipases. So you see what I was talking about? I'm talking about aces. And then lipids, it's fats and oil. So the reaction, the preferred pH of the reaction, it's acidic in the stomach because it's found in the stomach, and then alkalinic in the small intestine. So it's the same as proteases. And then the end product of the lipids is a glycerol and a fatty acid. So these lipids, when it is breaking down, we end up with glycerol and a fatty acid. So these are this is where it is produced, the substrates, preferred pH, and the end product of the digestion. So I hope you found value in this video. So if you found value, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. So if you are studying, say good luck with your studies. Thank you very much.